So guys, welcome back to the channel. Right now I have the Cleer ARC 3 Sport Pros. I never heard of this brand and they reached out to me and wanted me to review their product. I was super surprised. These go for $259. Now, before you say, woo, and have a heart attack, right? They're jam-packed with features. I had to use it to understand what it was offered. And I can honestly say, I love these headphones. Like, this is a type of open ear headset that I dream of where, it does everything. Like there's times where I don't want to wear my smartwatch, I'm covered. So let me just kind of talk about a little bit of the specifications, but let me show you what it comes with first. So of course you have the earbuds themselves. They do wireless charging, Bluetooth 5.4. It does have multi-point, and of course it is USB-C on the back. It comes with the instructions right here. I already have it out of the box. Let me put this to the side. You have this little micro rag right here for the outside of the screen. And guess what? The touch screen on this is actually very responsive. Look at that. Is super responsive. So as you can see, it does your pairing automatically. If you decide to do the multi-point pairing, you can do that. You have the option to restart the buds, reset the charging case, all the settings that are in the inside you have on the outside, which is interesting. You can actually upload your own wallpapers if you want to through the application itself. You have the brightness for the outside of the screen right here. We didn't get to the spec part yet. You have the camera option, but you have to set that up in the actual application. You can check the outside of the case to see where your left and your right bud is, where it'll chime and let you know. You do have the little reminders and things like that here. Step counter. This is important because the earbuds can actually track your steps. We're going to go over the specs in a second. Hearing care. You have different type of equalizers. Dolby Atmos, you can turn that on and off. Head tracking. You have a dedicated movie and music mode. My suggestion is to turn off Dolby Atmos because I feel like the sound quality is better without it in turn for listening to different types of music. You can change your songs from right here, from your whatever your music player is. And yes, everything is super responsive. It's not one of those busted touch screens that you normally see. Everything responds the way it's supposed to. So this is an overall very good headset. And of course you can see the battery life. You get the glare out of there. You can see the battery life of the buds, the case itself. It gives you the time and the date and this little Bluetooth symbol all the way to the left hand side. I don't know if you can really make that out right there. It actually will light up and let you know that it's currently connected. So in terms of specifications, let me go over that right now real fast. Let me just pull that up for you because, you know, I don't know all of it off heart, but IPX7, water and sweat resistant. So for the person out there going to the gym, you're good to go. Also, you got the little sync button in the inside, and you also have the physical mirror right here, which is pretty cool for the people that want to fix their face up a little bit. I think that's just an extra in-touch thing. Oh, also, this is the most important feature right here. Watch this. It has a UVC sterilizing light right here, where whenever you put the buds back inside of it, it'll use the UV lights to clean your buds. Obviously, you still want to wipe them down and things like that, but it's just the extra effect. And that's pretty cool in my opinion. You get 50 hours of battery life total, 8 hours inside the ear. You do have the smart case. We kind of went over that already with the UV light, so I don't have to talk about that. These guys do have multi-point. The Bluetooth is 5.4. optimized for Dolby Atmos. I mentioned that, and it does sound good with Dolby Atmos and the head tracking, but if you turn it off to listen to music, I feel like the music is a lot more pronounced and clearer without that, but we'll go over that in a little bit. You have the blood oxygen, you have a heart rate monitoring system. In addition to that, you have a step counter, which I showed you earlier in this video. So all the things that your watch can do for people that may not want a smartwatch or they're on the fence about that, these buds will replace the smartwatch. Now, obviously, with notifications and stuff, there's more that a smartwatch can do. But if you're just trying to do health features, the application does all of that for you. It helps you with exercises. It records your information and stuff. So if you decided to, you know, take these, use them for health, and then give it to your doctor, the option is definitely there, which is pretty cool. But yeah, these buds even look nice. Look at this. Now, the only downside, which I'll talk about that a little bit later with the fit and fill, is that this is the adjustable part of it right here. That's as far as it goes. But because these are a tight and snug fit, meaning it's supposed to be tight around the ear, I don't have any soreness. I'll talk about fit and fill later, but these buds are genuinely just really good. And the specs that I read off to you, they're real, man. Like, and again, $259 does sound like a lot of money, but so far I do like the buds. Now, with that being said, timestamps are in the description for anyone that wants to skip this part. I know I could be long-winded. I want to show you different aspect of the buds and just show you why it's worth the asking price. With that being said, let's get right into this video and not waste any more time. So So I'm going to show you guys how to actually pair these buds. There's multiple ways to do it. Let me explain. So if you open up this box right here, it'll say take the buds out of the case. It's going to automatically pair. And normally that's exactly what they do when it comes to the first time using them. Well, I unsync these and use them for different, reasons, I hooked it to my wife's phone and things like that. So I had an issue putting them back in pairing mode. So if you look at the outside of the screen right here, you can swipe over and just keep swiping until you find the option. I'm going to show you guys where it says right here, where are we? Here we go. Pair both earbuds. When you tap that, you press set, and it's going to automatically put it in pairing mode in case you have an issue with pairing with them. And then from there, just flip the case open, right? They're automatically going to put themselves in pairing mode. You end up going to the settings itself. We are going to go to Bluetooth, and then we're going to press search. And then the Cleer ARC 3s pop up. See, as you can see, they're in pairing mode. I'm going to tap it, press yes. There we go. And they're currently connected. Now, again, initially when you first open up the case, you should have no problem pairing them. But if you pair them and then unsync them and the buds don't go back into pairing mode, that is the option of what you do. You can use the outside of the case and it'll automatically put it in pairing mode and you'll be good to go. So pretty cool feature in my opinion, but let's move on. So let's talk about the fit and the feel, which is super important when it comes to wearing buds. These feel good on the ear, as you can see. They are slightly adjustable. Like this part is harder rubber, but it is soft enough with the silicone where it doesn't hurt the back of your ear, though it is a pretty snug fit, so you're going to notice that the buds are on. The purpose of that is because they're technically really made for people that are sports and outdoorsy. Anyone can wear them, of course, so don't let that shy away from that fact. But it's more so for the person that is active, so they do a pretty good job of staying in place for the most part. Now, if I shake my head like crazy, you might feel it move just a tad bit, but if you're doing exercises, sit-ups, pull-ups, and things like that, I can honestly say that the buds work well for me. I don't know if it's gonna work for someone else, but I do think it's a pretty snug fit. Now, right here, you have this little piece. That's the only part that's adjustable on this headset, which, to be honest, I kind of wish it had more flexibility, but I do understand why it doesn't, because once this goes onto your ear, it stays in the same spot. Now, the only real negative thing that I can say about this is, as a person that wears glasses, at first you may find it's a little bit uncomfortable to have something sitting on your ear, because my glasses have these little rubber things on it to protect the back of my ears. My ears look like I got within a fire. Like, it looks really bad over the years. So, safety first for me. So when I put these on, they actually sit comfortably where they're not touching the buds really, or they're just on top of the bud. And even with that pressure on top of it, I don't feel like anything bad has happened. To be honest, I feel no additional pressure with the buds sitting on top of my glasses. Now, I want to show you a different example. Here's a good one. This right here is a pair of Razer Bluetooth glasses. So as you can see, it's a lot thicker than a normal pair. And when I put these on, again, because of how the buds sit and how they look behind the ear, like so, there's no pressure on the buds themselves. Like, I don't feel like anything's pressing down on my ears. I don't feel like anything's weighing me down. So for the person out there that wears glasses, fret not. These actually will work for you when you wear your glasses. So if you're jogging, running, all those things, I don't feel like my glasses are going to fly off my face, which is a good thing, because I really like my Bluetooth glasses. They have my prescription inside of it, and I wasn't trying to buy another pair for ear headphones to work. And guess what? They work great. I have no complaints whatsoever about the fit and the feel outside of that just one little adjustable piece. But at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. Even for people that have smaller ears, my wife wore these. She said that she liked them. Though she's not really an ear hook person anymore, she still said that if she did have to use ear hooks, it would be these or probably the Soundcore, what do they call it, Aerial Fit 2s. Those are the two that she actually likes in terms of fit and feel, where she said she didn't feel any pressure on her ears and no soreness. So just keep that in mind. Fit and feel matters more than anything else, because it doesn't matter how good the sound is if it irritates your ears. And I think that this is going to do a good job of alleviating any pain that the Beats Super Pros and all that nonsense have, because they, don't pay attention to those type of details, in my opinion, at least. So this is going to be everything that the application has in terms of support, customization. It has a bunch of different features. So the first thing we're going to do is hit the cogwheel on the right-hand side. I'll try to compress this information a little bit. Initially, when you first get these buds, you are going to need to do a firmware update. And of course, the case right here where it says charging case, that also has its own firmware update. Now, if you're wondering what the AVC technology is, I'm going to let you know what that is right now. Basically, it automatically adjusts the volume control, automatic volume control. That's what that means. So if you're outside, if you're in the office, if you're in a building where your music is pretty loud, it will actually adjust based on people speaking to you or your environment in general. This is actually a pretty standard feature in earbuds that are this price tag. I know some people may have never experienced that, but the more expensive earbuds tend to have this. AirPods and other brands have that. It's a cool thing to have. It could be a little bit annoying depending on where you are. You might want to listen to something and it constantly keeps lowering it to make it more safer levels based on the area around you. It's never going to have it so low where, you know, people's voices overpower whatever it is that you're listening to, but just kind of keep that in mind. Right here, you have the option for touch controls for the left and for the right. So what I'm going to do is just show you, there's not many options you can switch between them, but you have the option for pause and play, the double tap right here, next song, previous, pause and play, and the tap and hold is for Dolby Atmos and voice assistant. So again, it may not have as much customization as the buds that you're necessarily used to using, but the customization is still here. Plus they're trying to make it easier for people that what's the word I'm looking for here, that just want their buds to work. Sometimes you could be overwhelmed with options and instead you just want to pop them in, use them as is, and get the most basic functionality out of it. You may be more interested in the quality, and these are quality. So excuse me, apologize for that. You have the auto power. I already have that off where, you know, the earbuds, if you leave them in and it detects that no noise is going on, it'll power down themselves to basically save battery life. By that point, you can put them back in the case and take them back out and they'll automatically power on. You have the option for factory resetting the buds. This is more so for the person out there that want to give the buds to somebody else, and you want to make sure that none of your settings is attached to the buds when you give it to somebody else. You have anti-loss reminder, not bad. Voice language prompt is English. That's what I do. I leave mine on LDAC. I never took it off of LDAC really because I think that the LDAC quality is really up there. It's one of the reasons why the music is so pronounced and sounds so clear. You're going to hear that in the next part. The music on this is just top tier, in my opinion, especially for open earbuds. Again, when you reach this price tag, you're entering a different realm of quality, and it definitely shows. Anywho, now that we got that out of the way, you have your health management right here. Sedentary, I don't know how to say that word correctly, but what this is for the people out there. You ever have a Galaxy Watch or Apple Watch or something, and it basically tells you to stand up, you know, move around, and this is going to give you a reminder to let you know, hey, it's time to move and it's time to do something, like get off your butt and exercise. So I do like that. I'm super lazy at times, and this did do a really good job of telling me to get off my butt and really do what I'm supposed to do. You have the option for motion controls, which, to be completely honest with you, a lot of these features, I'm not going to say that you're not going to necessarily use some of these features, but the option to be able to have that level of customization is still good when you decide to use it. Now, this is the meat and potatoes right here. You have the functionality. It shows you the battery life right here, but it also shows you the battery life on the actual case. I have my heart rate going right now. I have both earbuds in. This is my BPM right now. My blood oxygen, I tried that myself. I don't know if that's bad, 97%, whatever that is, but I'll consult my doctor because, you know, I'm getting older. I'm almost 40 years old. You do have the option for Dolby Atmos. The only way head tracking will work is if you turn Dolby Atmos on, so keep that in mind. You have a music mode, you have a movie mode, and again, Dolby Atmos works for all of these modes that you see right here, but it has to be on. You have the Smart Sport EQ, that's what I normally leave it on, though you do have the option to change these, but if you saw well, you can't see my finger, but I did tap this, and it says turn off the option right here, and then you have these equalizers and different things that you can choose right here if you choose to, but I normally just kind of just leave the Smart EQ on because it works well for me. You also have the motion control right here, which if you nod to answer calls and like to turn your head left and right in order to reject calls. So that's not bad. Apple also has this feature. So that's why I say, you know, these quality of life features are for all more higher end buds, especially when you enter that realm of $200, $300 and things like that. Of course, you have your voice control and you see the step count. Yes, if you wear these buds and you walk around, as long as you look into this application, it's going to check your step counter. Now, I did, again, compare the step counter to the Galaxy Watches that I have, and it was a little bit off, maybe by about 50 steps or so, depending on what it is that you're doing. But I don't feel like that's a dramatic difference. Now, for the person out there looking for 100% accuracy, again, when you're running and jogging, I feel like it picks up steps a lot better. But if you're sitting at a desk, you know, sometimes your arm movements, you're flailing or something like that, will pick up extra steps. That's why I say it's a little bit off. But if you're actually currently exercising, you should not have that problem whatsoever. And of course, if you tap me on the bottom of the screen, it will show your exercising data if you log into the application itself. I reset everything, so that's the reason why it looks the way it looks. And again, you have to sign into the application to see all of that data. User manuals, everything here. You already saw the settings, system preference. It's good, man. This is good. And on top of that, you can permit all these things because these buds, remember, I think you get notifications from the outside of it. I don't want to say that and get that wrong, but the point is that, there's full-blooded customization for this application, and I like it a lot. As a matter of fact, when you go to the sport aspect, it'll show you different trainings. It's just like stuff that's built into the application to help you with your actual exercise. So for the people out there that may use exercising applications or YouTube and stuff like that, guess what? The app contains all of it. Now, it doesn't mean you have to use this, but the fact that it offers it shows that they're trying to get you to get out there and exercise. These are meant for the active person to be running, jogging, and things like that. And even if you're not active, again, the call quality, you're going to hear the call quality in a little bit in this video, but the clarity, the music quality, it's just an all-around great package. You can literally not have a smartwatch and use this instead, and you can still get all of your health details where you can forward it to your doctor or screenshot it or show what's going on so you could be more in tune with your physical health. So anyway, long-winded. With that being said, this is the application support. And again, attention to detail is what matters when selling a product, and they did a really good job. So let me say right off the bat that these headphones are clear. The bass is actually very heavy for the earbuds. The quality of sound is crystal clear when you turn it up. Doesn't matter if it's at 50%, 60, 70, all the way to 100. I didn't feel like the vocals were struggling. I didn't feel like the background instruments were struggling with the speakers and microphones inside the headset itself. It's super clear, and I've never really heard that level of clarity in an open ear headset. Now, keep in mind, I reviewed AirPods, which are open ear, the AirPod 4s. I reviewed a bunch of different brands, and I'm saying AirPods in particular because they do have very clear, concise sound. But this one adds a level and quality of bass that just takes it out of this world. So if you're exercising, if you're in the gym, if you're doing things at home and you want to really get enveloped in the music and you're in a nice quiet area, this is really loud for the, I didn't expect the quality, to be honest with you. So let me just say a couple things first. And you do have the option to have Dolby Atmos off. When you first go into the application, that's turned on. My suggestion, I know it's going to sound crazy, is to turn it off. Why? Because the music quality, in my opinion, gets better with Dolby Atmos off. I was surprised about that. The Dolby gives it a level of like movie quality, because you do have a movie mode on this headset too. I believe we already covered that in this video. But it gives it a level of, when it takes away all that extra rumble in the background to make it sound like a surround sound movie, for whatever reason, the music sounds a lot more pronounced and it sounds the way it's supposed to be, like initially how the artist made it. You know what I mean? It's like headphones can enhance the quality of sound around you, which is a good thing because this one has head tracking and all that stuff. So those features are there. And I think you're really going to enjoy those features. But when you turn it off, you're going to notice that the clarity of music just skyrockets with Dolby Atmos off. And it's like you're using an entirely new headset. So that's something I suggest everyone do just to test it out for yourself so you can see what it is that I'm talking about. But these things are very clear. It's very concise. I heard all the instruments playing in the background. I did some pop music, rock music, death metal, heavy metal. I played a little bit of some Japanese music, some I don't think I have any Korean music, but I just played a bunch of different genres just to see how well it meshes with everything I played. And surprisingly, I was just, shaking my head, rocking out, because it does a really good job of giving you that feeling where you're enveloped in the music. I know some headphones, you would listen to them, you're like, okay, it sounds good, but you're not really involved with the music. When you hear something that's loud, concise, sharp, sounds good, it just puts you in a mood where, immediately I started bopping my head when I started using these. So as I'm walking around doing my errands and things like that, I was able to drown out noise outside, believe it or not, if you turn it up high enough, which I don't necessarily suggest because you don't want to damage your ears. But I was able to drown out a lot of noise, like mid-moderate noise. And I was just having a wonderful time using the buds. The quality is there when it comes to music. And I was super, super surprised about that. Like, open ear never really give you that quality. We're talking like, it's good. That's all I can really say. It's really, really good. I know that price tag is going to make people kind of shy away from them. But if you do happen to get it, I think that, again, the music quality was shockingly good. I did not expect that at all, because I never heard of this brand. But because of that, I have been putting some more on my wish list, because I want to try out a couple more from this company. But yeah, that's my take for the music. It's good, deep bass, sharp vocals. I was able to hear the pianos and other instruments playing in the background. What I will say is that they do sound a little less pronounced compared to the bass, because the bass can be overwhelming to some people, especially if you're trying to get a level ground of all the music. But what I will say is that the quality of sound does not suffer, though. It's not like you can't hear the cello or the certain instruments playing in the background. It does depend on what you're listening to, but overall the sound is phenomenal on these buds. So one of the most important things with buds outside of the quality of music is how good the microphones sound. Now, of course, I've already recorded this, used these, tested these, and I can honestly say that the quality of the microphones is actually very, very good, especially at this price tag. It better be good, if we're being completely honest here. So if you're indoors, like I am right now, let's say you decide to do some recordings and actually use the microphones themselves for the sound, this is the quality that you're going to get. Now, what I will say is that if you're outside in a more busier location, then it is going to pick up a lot of the sound in the background, primarily because these earbuds are open ear earbuds, and the purpose of them is so that you can still hear everything around you for safety reasons, of course. But again, as long as you like the style and aesthetic, this is the quality of microphones that you're going to get. And I have to say, I like it pretty much. It's pretty good. It's up there with the other brands that are top tier, in my opinion, for like AirPods and other brands. It sounds really, really good and clear and concise. So I have no complaints about that. So in conclusion, are these buds worth the asking price? Let me kind of put this in perspective that'll make it make sense. AirPod 4s, ANCs are like $169, $179, whatever it is, right? They don't fit that well, in my opinion. I like AirPods, but they don't fit that well for Apple users. They don't really have many features at all, if we're being completely honest here. They have enough for what you want to do. So if you're willing to pay close to $200 for this right here is $259. It has the UV light. It has wireless charging. It has blood monitoring, blood oxygen, I'm sorry. It has the IPX7, it has the heart rate sensor, it has a step counter inside of it. It has everything that's necessary for you to be able to go about your life and not even have to use a smartwatch, as long as notifications is something that you don't really care about. Notifications can pop up on this screen to let you know, hey, stand up and do certain things. So again, all these features are really good. You have head tracking, you have Dolby Atmos. I'm sure they'll update things and, give you more features as time goes on, but this is an overall really good package. Now, again, got to be realistic. $259 is a lot of money. So my suggestion, which I plan on doing, is I have a bunch of these in my cart on Amazon. Hopefully the company sends me more, hint, hint. But if not, I'm going to buy more Cleer product and try them out, ones that are less expensive. Because if this is $259 and it's good, I would assume that you still get a pretty good level of quality for some of their other buds. And I'm more than willing to try them out. I did not know that this company existed, and I am pleasantly surprised that it does. I'm happy that it does, because again, I'm a Soundcore advocate, but the fact that I found something else, open ear, that sounds like this, my God, open ear. I didn't know open ear could sound that good. And I know I'm glazing them right now, but I really, really do like these buds. I just got to be honest with you. I was so surprised, because when you do tech for so long, sometimes things get stale and stagnant. But this right here really opened my eyes to really trying out more brands, and I got to be a lot more open-minded, and I can see that. But I love these headphones, but $259 is expensive, but it's worth it in my opinion. Anyway, like and subscribe like always. I will see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care, peace, and be safe.